Have you ever felt like your own mind was just too loud? Like you were carrying 100 thoughts at the same time and none of them would stay still? That was how Evan felt. He was 26, living in a small town near the mountains. From the outside, everything looked fine. He had a stable job, good friends, a small apartment. But inside, he was exhausted. Not from work, but from thinking. Every day felt like noise. He worried about the future, replayed the past, judged himself, compared himself. When he tried to sleep, his thoughts would chase him like shadows in the dark. One morning, after another sleepless night, Evan whispered to himself, "There must be a way to find peace." But where? He remembered hearing about a man, an old tea master who lived far away in the mountains. People said he once worked in the city, helping others find balance and calm. But years ago, he left everything, moved to a quiet valley, and spent his days making tea in silence. Evan decided that he had to meet him. He packed a small bag, left early in the morning, and began his journey through the forest trail. Each step felt heavy, but inside there was a small spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, that man could teach him how to quiet the storm within. After 2 long days of walking, Evan reached a small village surrounded by green hills. He followed the sound of a river until he saw a tiny wooden house by the water. Outside, an old man was sitting quietly, pouring tea into a clay cup. His movements were slow, graceful, peaceful, like time itself had slowed down for him. Evan approached carefully. "Sir," he said softly, "I heard you help people find peace. My mind never stops. I can't sleep, can't focus, can't feel happy anymore. Please, can you teach me?" The old man smiled gently, but said nothing. He pointed at the empty seat in front of him. Evan sat down. For a moment, they just sat in silence. Only the sound of birds and running water filled the air. Then the old man spoke, his voice calm and deep. "You are searching for peace, yet you came here full of noise. Peace doesn't live in noise. It lives in attention." He poured tea into a small cup, filling it to the very top. Then he handed it to Evan and said, "Take this cup, walk to the river and back, without spilling a single drop." Evan blinked. "That's all. That's enough," the master said, smiling faintly. "Go." Evan held the cup carefully in both hands. The tea was warm, almost trembling at the edge of the cup. He began walking slowly toward the river. At first, his mind wandered. What is this test even for? But the tea swayed dangerously close to spilling, and he quickly focused again. Step by step, his attention tightened. The path was rocky. A bird suddenly flew past. A child laughing laughed nearby. But Evan kept his eyes on the tea. His world had become smaller. One step, one breath, one drop. By the time he reached the river, his heart was strangely calm. He could hear the sound of water touching stones, but it didn't distract him anymore. He turned around and walked back, even slower this time. When he reached the house again, the tea was still full. Not a single drop had fallen. He smiled, proud but curious. "I did it," he said. "Not even one drop spilled." The old man nodded. "Good, but tell me, did you hear the wind in the trees?" Evan frowned. "No, I didn't. Did you notice the color of the sky? The sound of the water?" "No," Evan admitted quietly. "I was too focused on the cup." The master smiled. "Then your cup was your world. For the first time, your mind stopped running everywhere. You were completely here. That's peace." Evan looked down at the tea again. He could see his own reflection in it. Calm for once. They sat together again, this time both drinking tea. The old man spoke slowly. Your mind is like a cup. Every worry, every regret, every expectation fills it a little more. When it's too full, even one more drop will make it overflow. Evan listened carefully. So, what should I do? The old man lifted his cup, then gently poured a little tea onto the ground. You must learn to empty it each day a little at a time. Sit with your breath. Notice the smell of your tea, the sound of the wind, the warmth in your hands. When you give your full attention to now, your mind has no space left for chaos. Evan stared at the old man's face, the calm eyes, the soft wrinkles, the quiet smile. He realized that this man wasn't teaching him to escape thoughts, but to let them come and go like clouds in the sky. Peace, the master said, is not the absence of thoughts. It is the gentle space between them. Evan breathed deeply. For the first time in years, his mind didn't feel heavy. It felt light, quiet, alive. Evan stayed the night in the village. The next morning, he woke up early and walked outside. The air was cool. Mist floated above the grass. He could hear birds, footsteps, distant laughter. Everything was the same, yet everything was different. He realized the world hadn't changed. He had. He whispered to himself, I used to run after peace, but now I see peace was always here, waiting for me to stop. He turned to look at the small house one last time. The tea master was already outside pouring another cup of tea. Their eyes met. The old man smiled, then bowed slightly. Evan bowed back, grateful, calm, present. Maybe today, Evan thought, I'll just sit for a while, drink my tea slowly, and listen to life breathing around me. You are listening to the Morning Glow English podcast, where stories teach us not just English, but the language of peace. If this story touched your heart, please like this episode and subscribe to the Morning Glow English podcast so you can join us for more gentle English stories. Stories that help you grow and heal one morning at a time. Until next time, take a breath, empty your cup, and let your heart find quiet.